This is the Abdi Maria Show. Please welcome your hostess, Mrs. Abdi Maria.
Hello, 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 ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else. Today I'm really happy because my guest is Demetrios Tsinopoulos, a Greek-Finnish American tenor, which was born and raised in Greece with amazing studies, amazing collaborations. He is 2 times honored awarded by UNESCO for his contributions to culture and classical music. He's the co-founder of the Hellenic American Opera Company. He had his debut in Carnegie Hall with a world premiere of Porphyra, in which he was a high priest. In 2016, in Lincoln Center, he has his debut performing the leading role of Heracles for the historical first performance Greek opera Olympic Flame. You did so many incredible things. So, for my opinion, you are the best that Greece, Finland, and the United States can have. Really, congratulations for everything. Bravo, 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 Dimitri.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me today.
So, how the COVID-19 has changed the life of a tenor in New York?
Well, it's basically changed it in that there's virtually, no performing, no operas taking place anywhere. Only, the online stuff that people have started to do, which I've also been involved in, somewhat, to some extent. And, now it's all about if it's a good time to work on your art to become better, to learn more roles and, all of that, to prepare audition videos, and also to do other stuff if you're involved in other stuff, which if you're not, it can get a little difficult or very difficult.
I can tell that the competition is really hard in New York. So far, you did very good. How did you manage? Because you are young. You're not, let's say, 55, 60. You are young.
It's just I think I've done okay so far. I'm always aiming to do better. But if anything, the most important element is never giving up. And, just continuing to strive to be better, to want to succeed, and also to not be very selfish necessarily only, and to learn to work with other people and, learn to help other people and be part of things, but also to spearhead things, to come up with projects, because a lot of people have like this ideal concept of what, like how their career should go. And it's not usually, it doesn't go like that. That's not how it works.
That's true.
Everybody thinks that, they'll be discovered by someone and then they will just shoot into the stars and blow up. Sometimes you have to, shoot yourself to the stars. You have to create something, start something, find a niche. Because if people don't listen to you, you're never going to do anything.
That's true.
So whether they listen to you because somebody wanted you to do something, or whether you organize something where people come and listen to you, the goal is to be heard. If you're not heard, you never succeed. That's it. At least in what I do.
So you're the co-founder, one of the co-founders of Hellenic American Opera Company. I've seen your opera night events in the Federation of Hellenic Societies of New York a couple years ago, pro-COVID time. It was really amazing.
Thank you.
What was the need to start this company with the other colleagues? And is there a Greek audience, Greek American, let's say, that is interested about classic music and opera?
So what happened was, I mean, it's a lot of things happen at the same time for this to take place. But basically, what happened was one night, I don't go to bed early ever. It's one of my things. And I'm on YouTube and I'm listening to music. And, I'll listen to the same song from a different singer 15 times.
That's nice.
And what happened was I was looking at some Greek composer, some music or some sort. And I see this song called Yerodimos by a friend of mine, Yannis Christopoulos, who's an opera singer in Greece for the Greek National Opera.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is this? What is he singing? So I listened to it and I'm like, what is this? Is this Greek opera or something like that? So I listened to one, I listened to another one, I listened to another one, I listened to another, and I start discovering that there are numerous Greek composers that existed that composed really wonderful music. Now, I didn't know that immediately. It started to get to know it slowly. And what happened was I started talking with a few friends about this. And one of my very good friends here, she's a soprano. She's Greek also, Greek American. Her name's Stella Papatheodoru, amazing singer, wonderful, and a great friend. She was about to participate in a performance of Marcos Botsaris by Pavlos Karer at Bard College or Bard University in upstate New York. Because there was this Greek guy there whose name is Pavlos Kordis. And he was doing for his master's degree, he had to do like a performance in the end, And he decided to do Marcos Botsaris because he loved Greek opera composers. So she put me in connection with him. I spoke with him. He says, I need a tenor. I said, okay, let's do this.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Let's do this. So, we meet. We had this electricity between us, this energy. And we had an amazing performance at Bard. And we said, you know what? We have to do this again.
Again.
And so thus, with Pavlos, we co-founded together the Hellenic American Opera Company.
Okay.
And of course, if it wasn't for Stella, it would have never happened. So I consider her also one of the main people behind it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So she and him, and we all had a great performance with Stefanos Koroneos was also singing there, and Nicoletta Ralli. Obviously, it was all Greek performers, Greek backgrounds, because it's all in Greek. Marcos Botsaris by Pavlos Karer, and so that's how it started. And the rest is history.
It's history.
Yes.
So nice. So nice. You see how the flame, it goes like this, and we have a really interesting thing. And that night in the federation was so amazing. And I was looking the people around me. I could sense the vibe. And something, they didn't expect it. Okay, they have seen the program, but it's different. It's different when they're listening, and they were listening. It was silence in that room. It was amazing.
That first performance at the Federation of Hellenic Societies was it was crazy in a way, because I go to the then president, Mr. Galatoulas, was the president back then. And, I'd sent him some emails and I said, I want to do this. And he said to me, come over, let's talk. So I go there, I tell him what the idea is. And he says, okay, let's give it a try. So, I'm
nobody have ever done something like that before. Okay.
Nobody had ever, to my knowledge, performed Greek opera compositions from, 19th and 20th century there, from what I know. Okay, but there was never an event of that caliber done there. There was modern Greek opera composer Panagiotis Karoussos, who's a friend of mine, and I sang for his thing at Lincoln Center, his performance of Olympic Flame. He's a wonderful composer and a very good friend. But this was a different thing. So everybody was like, okay, let's see what I showed them some videos. They're like, okay, let's see how it is. And we organized the event. And the day of, we were terrified if people are going to come.
Yeah, that was my question before. Are people very close to this kind of music? Because we see the bouzoukia here.
Yeah.
When the artists from Greece are coming, it's crazy.
Yes.
But with opera?
Yeah, so what happened was, you know, they lined up the seats. They had invited a lot of people also. They had, you know, various dignitaries that came to the event, and that was very nice. And suddenly, you know, we go in an hour before to start, you know, preparing.
Mm-hmm.
And we see already like, you know, 20 or 30 people already sitting down. And we're like, oh, that's strange. You know, they came so early. Wow. And before we know it, it was
full. Yeah.
And they were bringing more chairs. They had to bring more chairs. And we're like, oh my God. So it was.
You create a movement in a way. Even though people liked it somehow, they will never experience something like this. And you and your friends, you created a movement, and people now they are expecting things from you.
Yes, and you know, it was something though that we presented it in a way that I think it echoed in the hearts of a lot of Greek people, because this is Greek music. It is about Greek heroes. It is in Greece, in Greek.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's part of our heritage. We just don't know about it. Like 90% of the people don't know about it.
They don't know.
So when they heard it, they were like, oh my God, this is Greek words, and it's music in, you know, Greek music, and some of the sounds and rhythms may be familiar to some people.
Yes.
For example, Gerodimos, for example, is an example of a song that a lot of people in Greece know, and they think that it's δημοτικό. It's a δημοτικό τραγούδι.
Because of the name, but it's not.
It's not. It's an opera aria from Pavlos Carrer, which became a popular song after. Why? Because everybody liked it, and they all listened to it, and then other people started to sing it. So it became so famous from the opera. So people are like, but how did it become famous from the opera? Because opera was famous in Greece.
Yep.
Until after the Second World War, something like that. It was very famous.
Exactly, and they don't know about that. No. That we have many people that were involved in this.
A lot. I mean, I'll say the simple thing, a simple like comment. We have one of the greatest opera singers, probably the greatest opera singer of all time, Maria Callas, right?
Yep.
And you know, you'll say, oh, it just happened.
Nope.
And then I'll say, okay, how about Teresa Stratas, another one of the greatest opera singers of all time? How about Demetrios Mitropoulos, one of the greatest maestros of all time? How about, you know, Elena Souliotis, Nikolaidi, just, you know, Nicola Zakaria, how they called him back then. Like, I can just go on with names and names and names. So how do you end up with so many great performers if you have nothing to do with the music?
Exactly.
It's not it, and the reason is all these people were born sometime in the early 1900s. And opera was not something strange in Greece.
Yep.
You know, today it is a little bit, but then it wasn't. So.
And that is amazing. That is the treasure that we have. One of the treasures that we have and that we don't know. And this is sad in a way. So you have, I believe this year is very, very good for you from the beginning, because Sunday, 17th of January, 3 p.m. in New York, 10 a.m. in Greece.
10 p.m. in Greece.
Yeah. 10 p.m. in Greece. You will have an online event, an amazing online event. It's a high-level event.
Yes.
I'm really proud of this. It will be a live streaming in your Facebook page and in SYRIZA New York page, Hellenic American Opera. Tell us more about it. And I believe I can share the screen and present a flyer, but
that would be wonderful. So this is the thing. This is an event that I have been wanting to do for a while. And you know, the way the world worked, it so happens that we have this event during the 200 years of Greek independence. Because now we are in 2021, and these are the 200 years of Greek independence. And we have an event that finally will shed the light on what Greek classical music is, Greek opera and music theater in Greece. When did it start? Who started it? Where did it start? You know, who were the great composers? Who were the great artists? And very importantly, how did Greek society react to it? Were they involved? Was it only one group of people that were involved? Was it a lot of people that were involved? We will shed the light through this event so that Greeks throughout the world, because anybody can watch this event no matter where they are in the world, will finally find out about our very rich cultural heritage in this genre, in this type of music.
Mm-hmm. It says opera, sorry to interrupt, and music, όπερα και μουσικό θέατρο στην Ελλάδα, δημιουργία, ιστορία και κοινωνία. Ομιλητές, αν θες λίγο επιγραμματικά να τους αναφέρω, η Άβρα Ξεπαπαδάκου, διδάκτορ μουσικολογίας, Βύρον Φιδετζής, αρχιμουσικός, πρώην καλλιτεχνικός διευθυντής της Κρατικής Ορχήστρας Αθηνών, Νίκος Μαλιάρας, καθηγητής ιστορικής μουσικολογίας στο Πανεπιστήμιο Αθηνών και ιδρυτής της Φιλαρμονικής Ορχήστρας Αθηνών, Τζορτζίνα Μερεντίτη, μουσικολόγος, υποψήφια διδάκτορ, Παύλος Κόρδης, μαέστρος, πιανίστας, μουσικολόγος, και εσύ, συνιδρυτής, όπως είπαμε, του Hellenic America Opera Company. Δυνατό πάνελ, εξαιρετικό. Θα μάθουμε τουλάχιστον αυτά που δεν ξέρουμε εν ολίγης.
Δεν έχει ξαναγίνει τέτοιο event online. This is the first time.
It's really amazing.
This caliber of speakers, I'm pretty confident that they've never, been put together in one event online, at least. Every one of them is the top of the top in their area. I think that I could speak about them for days, what they've done, their biographies and what they've accomplished. I mean, Άβρα Ξεπαπαδάκου has her bio is like pages long. She wrote this book here, which is the biography on Pavlos Carrera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's huge, as you can see. It is an amazing book, and she has worked on this for a big part of her life, and she is an expert in this area. Maestros Fidetζής, Viron Fidetζής, he is in many ways the reason why we have the music in our hands to perform.
Okay, interesting.
Because he made it a personal, let's say, goal to find this music, put it together, and many times most of it, so in opera, what happens is you have two scores many times. You have the vocal score, which is piano and voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have the full score. The full score is for the full orchestra and voice and chorus and everything. It's a huge, huge thing usually.
Mm-hmm.
So for many of these compositions, from Pavlos Carrera, from Spiros Samaras,
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have both. They only had one. They maybe only have the vocal score. So Maestro Fidetζής, what he did is he took the vocal score from many compositions and he rewrote them based on the score.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
And he has performed these operas with full orchestra in numerous places. He recorded them in Bulgaria, actually, in the city of my girlfriend, Pazarcik, to be precise, which was a funny coincidence. And Kiros Maliaras is an amazing professor, and his knowledge is immense. And the orchestra that he started, Philharmonia, is probably one of the only orchestras in the world that performs this music. And in the event, you'll be able to hear performances of theirs, of various compositions. So anyway, and Georgina Merediti and Pavlos, who's the co-founder, will have beautiful things to present. Georgina currently is doing her PhD in Pavlos Carrer's 3 first Italian operas, so she knows a vast amount of knowledge on this issue.
Amazing.
And Pavlos Koris is going to present to us a little bit more in the music. He'll show us elements and little secrets from the music and why we have it and how it's composed and why is it Greek in some ways and what are the similarities with Greek folk music in some cases and so on and so forth.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That's very, very congratulations, and we're waiting. I really wanna watch something like that, even though I don't have the deep knowledge. It's amazing though. All these things are happening, and we need at least to observe and say something and support the people, not only the art workers, but especially this, because this is something difficult, something unique. Not many people are doing that.
That's very it's very nice of you to say that. And what I wanted to say is because you said something that you say you don't know too much about this, right? That's the whole point of this event. This event has been curated in a way to be for a person that has no idea about this music.
Great.
Also, up to for a person that knows classical music. In other words, this event will be highly understandable and comprehensible from everybody. That was the main thing when we sat down and discussed about it.
Yep.
What we said, I said, listen, guys, what I want is, can we have an event where we can tell the average Greek American, Greek Australian, from anywhere in the world, to understand what this Greek music history, classical music history is. What is it? So that everybody can find out and know after watching this that, did you know that we had this and this and this? That's the goal. To know more about this. That's all. That's why we did it.
Because people might fear that because of they don't know, they might be embarrassed or anything. So they hesitate in a way. Yeah. They're not only like me. I want to learn this new and this new.
This is exactly for them.
Great, and I'm very happy that you are saying this now, so people they will know. What is the current situation in the opera, let's say, field right now? Because we don't know more about what is going on. What is the modern and the current issues that you can say what you know? Everything is closed, but as you said, people they improvise in a way in their houses. What we have and what will be when everything is the new reality will begin.
The thing with opera is that there are a lot of wonderful creative people out there, and they can come up with beautiful things. For example, the Metropolitan Opera had these streaming concerts, and they had this they did this stuff with the Zoom app, and they had all these little windows where it was the whole orchestra, and they put all the sounds together, and it was a really special experience. But the thing with opera is, and it also relates to the title of this event. It says musicotheatro, right? Music theater. Opera is theater. And just like theater itself, okay, you have to go to the theater. You have to be there. You have to be there because it's about energy. Me expressing my energy, you feeling my energy, That's why theater, now we have television. What is television?
It's not the
television.
same.
No, it's not the same, but it's an adaptation, you could say, of
Mhm.
theater for TV in the house. You can't do that with opera.
I've seen something in the news around Christmas time that they did something on Met, outside of the Met. I believe artists were singing or keeping the distances and everything. I believe that they did it because they wanted to feel better and send a message to people. Hey, we cannot do the same, but let's keep the spirit alive.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same, though.
No,
It
no.
wasn't. It wasn't the same.
Okay, this opens a very different conversation about, what is dangerous and what is, a safety precaution. Because, for example, I go to the city, because I work, I have another job, also, and I take the subway. And in the subway, I'm sitting or standing with another 20, 30 people that are luckily wearing their masks. And, we're inside there every day for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I guess some people for an hour if it's a long
For
commute.
an hour, yes.
So I'd say, why can't we have an opera house or theater with social distancing and people with their masks or whatever,
Exactly.
and
Good question.
the answer is that it will happen in Europe. It's happening in Europe, but it's not going to happen here because
Why you
the
think?
arts are not subsidized in the United States. In the United States, they're private mostly. So when Broadway says, for example, or the Met, that, hey, if I open up with 30% capacity, I'm not going to make it. You understand? While in Greece, even in Greece, the government gives the money. And they get donations from the Niarchos Foundation, so on and so forth. But, they have money, so they have to do the performance, right? And the artists have to work. And the orchestra has to get paid. And the set designers have to get paid. So they do the performance, and you have, 30% occupied, but you still have a performance. Here, it's not going to happen, which is why the United States is the United States for the artist, the theater artist, is one of the worst places to be right now.
With all this money, because United States, they're rich, let's say, they're not in. You cannot even say find similarities with Greece. Let's say in Greece, because we are from Greece. With all this money, with all these foundations, with all these sponsorships, and still they are closed.
They are closed, and they will remain closed.
Yeah.
And
so sad.
And the United States will be one of the last to open these spaces. And the thing is that, again, it comes down to, well, I'm not going to try to make this political, but it's, a socialized, system. It has to do with the government subsidizing and helping in things.
Exactly.
When, they have this fund every year. It's called the NEA, National Endowment for the Arts, right? And every year there's a fight in Congress because they want to reduce it.
Tragic.
Now that fund is like $150 million.
It's not much. It's not much.
$150 million.
Nope.
Our defense budget is $1 trillion.
Yep.
And I think culture is education.
Of course.
So, when I hear them fighting for $150 million, which,
it's a joke, really, a bad joke.
A few missiles, maybe, or like, a tank, a few tanks. Like, how it's not $1 billion at least is, it's beyond comprehension.
It's a good question, but I don't think that they, they give money for this. For art in general, they're more private.
And you know what the other thing is? Then who gets this $150 million? Where does it go to? The biggest organizations get it.
if we see what happened with the support from the government during the COVID crisis, which most of the money went to the big corporations, even though they didn't need it at all, because many of them they didn't even close for one day.
Yep.
I can say it's the same thing, and it is sad. It is really sad. It
And
is
you know,
really sad.
it's just going to it's not going to get better until somebody
No,
makes something
the thing
changes.
is that I don't know who exactly, but they don't think this is important. And something that is happening the last days as well. In Boston, in some universities, they stop all the classic writers.
Yes.
To teach at schools like Shakespeare and Homer.
Yeah.
That's, for me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So the next step is opera and dance, traditional. I don't know. This is so sad.
It has already started with opera. You know, the same conversations they're having about Homer and Shakespeare, they've had the same conversations about opera.
Wow.
You know, like, again, I don't want to make this political, but you know, there have been comments.
Yeah, this is the way that goes. Okay, we are more educated. Okay, but the elite, as I'm saying, there is an elite, academical elite. I don't know which kind, but it's definitely an elite that doesn't want us to be educated in deep. So kick out the statues, kick out the opera, kick out everything, and what it will end up.
You know, there are a few Greek sayings that you know, we could use, but I don't want to say it on this show because they're not appropriate. But what I will say though is, I think in many ways it is an effort to misguide the attention of the public.
Exactly.
So, for example, instead of saying, you know, why don't we all have health care in this country? We talk about Shakespeare and Homer.
Yep.
Why can't everybody go to college without paying tuition? And we talk about, you know, something
because
else.
In their mind, this is the standard. We don't have healthcare and we don't have free education. So this is the standard. That's crazy. That's crazy. If it is to have a debt for all of your life after, just to have a diploma. So let's go back in Greece and study over there. At least it wasn't bad when I graduated. Now things, they're starting getting in different way as I'm reading, and this is again sad because again, and you cannot stop doing this unpolitical. The elite doesn't want us educated. That's the thing, I believe. Okay, that's the thing. So what is the plans for your company after this event? What are you planning to do? Okay, this event, performance, something we will listen anything just to be in the mood.
So we had a wonderful, huge plan for 2021 to do on the 25th of March or around that date to have a full orchestra performance of Marcos Botsaris.
Wow, great.
And that was the plan. Until COVID came.
Yep.
And, you know, we were organizing it and got down to the budget and funding and this and that. And at the end of the day, they told us, well, you know, we can do it, but where? So
Astoria Park. Let's do it in Astoria Park.
You know, we could, but it will be so complicated, you know. So my thoughts are, and hopes and dreams, that and I've started talking with some people about it, and if other people talk about it, they'll be very good too.
Oh, great.
To aim for the end of 21 to have like a final big concert to celebrate the end of the 200-year celebration. So, you know, I'm trying to get this big concert done for 2021 in December, possibly.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Not
theaters
bad.
will be open.
Yeah.
Everybody hopefully will be done with this. You know, vaccines or whatever, you know, takes place, and maybe, you know, by that time it's a good way to end the year. You know. So that is our goal for now, because I can't say anything.
We cannot say nothing until summer at least.
Yeah.
Until summer. Although you traveled in Greece, did you?
Yes.
I saw that you
Yeah.
traveled.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was really, too afraid for the plane because I have a little baby too. I said I don't wanna have any surprise.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was okay
Yeah.
because you have the Greek passport. I was jealous all summer with my friends on Facebook posting photos. I said, okay, I'm gonna do this one day too. It was something.
Every Greek knows what it's like not to go 1 year to Greece. It's very difficult.
The sun is not the same. The
No,
sea
no,
is not
the
the
is not the
same.
same. The food is not the same.
The
Nothing
food
is the same.
is not the same. Okay,
Even though
we
to be
cook.
fair,
Yeah,
our Greek restaurants in Astoria are
they're
amazing.
amazing.
They're amazing. They're amazing. All of them.
Great. So, you are a member in SYRIZA
Yes.
as well. I've watched last year, 25 of January, that you had the event with the ex-minister Efi Achtsioglu.
Yes.
I also noticed that this year, 15th of November, you had an online event about the crisis in the climate.
Yes.
And you said in the title about a left answer for environment and energy. This is a separate answer. We don't have the same answer. What is the left answer?
I mean,
for
you know,
environment?
the left answer is, I guess, you know, for example, like in the United States, you have the Green New Deal that has been spoken of, you know. So basically, the idea is that you restructure the energy profile of a nation, and you create new jobs, because, you know, the argument is always we're going to lose jobs.
Yep.
But the idea is you create new jobs by moving on to different, you know, fuel sources and energy sources to more environmentally, positive sources of energy. So, you know, that is something that, you know, there's always there's a collision between the sides, right? So, you know, we say, you know, we need to put money into this and to invest into this to make it happen. And, you know, probably maybe the other side doesn't agree, for example, you know. So that's the idea behind it.
Okay.
And of course, it's
nice.
It's accepting, in our opinion, and our, you know, based on the scientist consensus in the world, that it's an undeniable, you know, issue. So, you know, of course, everybody has their own thoughts and ideas on this, and, you know, it's we need
but
to.
Let's do something. This virus, it's a big bell. Let's listen what happened and take the lesson, because I believe many they didn't believe in this and they didn't take the lesson. Let's take the lesson and start doing something about this.
Yeah.
So I'm one of your Facebook friends. This is how I met you, really. And I have seen your clear preference in Bernie Sanders. So it was a surprise, his resignation. And he was doing real good that time. Okay, he was all over with his statements. I really like some of the things that he was saying, but I don't know how he could use it in this country. Yeah. So it was a surprise for you.
Or not? Not really.
Okay.
Of course, you know, you always have hopes and dreams, right? And everybody needs to have hopes and dreams. And but, you know, the fact is that the other candidate that won the election was the chosen candidate by, you know, what you want to call the Democratic establishment.
Okay.
And they, you know, made things in a way that would have been very difficult for Sanders to win
But
without.
he opened a path, let's say, in people's minds. He
Oh yes.
opened a
Oh,
path.
that is
At
undeniable.
least the young people, they are saying that.
Yes.
around.
Look. You cannot. Nobody can say with a clear mind that the political landscape has not changed since Sanders ran for president in 16. Like today, we're discussing, things that we weren't even talking about.
Yep, exactly. We didn't
So,
believe that.
so he changed the landscape. Now, the fact that he didn't win was, because of certain actions taken by the Democratic establishment. I could go into details of what they did. They didn't do. I'm not saying they did something illegal. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they had very intelligent planning.
Specific agenda. That's why all the candidates endorsed one by one the Biden, President Biden. And another big surprise, I don't know if it was for you, was the political correct selection of Kamala Harris. For me, it looks like an agenda is following here.
Yeah, of course, but you remember he said that he was going to choose such a candidate, and Kamala Harris was objectively speaking, a very weak presidential candidate.
She was last of the favorites.
2-3%. She was polling something like that, and the fact of the matter is, just to speak, the things the way they are. The Democratic Party, in my opinion, they released 4 candidates that were the same person, basically. It was Biden, Buttigieg, Klobuchar, and Bloomberg showed up as well.
Yep.
And Kamala Harris, more or less to a certain point. And what they did is Sanders was essentially, he was doing great. One-on-one.
He was doing. That's the thing.
One-on-one, he was doing great. But what they did is they brought 4 candidates that represented identity-wise different groups.
Yep.
And then at the end, they brought them all together into one candidate.
Yep.
And if Elizabeth Warren had supported Bernie Sanders, which we should have known that she wasn't going to because she did in 2016 also, he maybe would have.
Yep. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. The last days, all the planet is watching the incidents in the Capitol. Let's say from an homogeneous crowd that went into the Capitol.
Yes.
People they don't might know, but I would like to remind them that it was another movement, let's say the Black Panthers in 1967 that went first. Not the same, of course, but what happened, and because I've seen so many videos online, now they're down, okay. In those, I've seen police officers telling to people, come inside. That's crazy. And after that, okay, we had people died. That's tragic. And after that, for the first time in history, we have the social media deleting the president of the United States accounts, and that's really a shock for me about freedom of speech. I would like your comment in this, because wow, that's too big.
Well, I mean, I guess I should probably start with the last thing you said about the Twitter account. Look, I mean, I think, and no, freedom of speech is one thing, right? We have a freedom to speak, but your words also bear consequences, right? So you have the freedom to say what you want, but when you say it, something might happen, So, for example, if I go out on the street now and I start, I don't know, yelling and cursing at people and this and that, do I have a right to do that? You could argue maybe I do. But if the police comes and picks me up and puts me in jail,
they have right to do it as well.
Are they abusing my freedom of speech? I don't think so. I did my thing, and now I'm in jail, for example. So I think that, President Trump um, he did his thing,
His thing.
and there are consequences, which he's bearing right now. And Twitter is a private company. So do I agree with censoring people when they say stuff? I'm generally against censorship. I think that you should be able to say what you want to say,
Yeah.
as long as you are not saying certain things.
Yeah, but don't make a selection, because you know what's going on back in Greece with Erdogan, and he's doing whatever he wants and nobody can stop him. Or in countries with fascist leaders, and they still have their accounts. So if you want to be correct, do it for everybody.
You're right. You're right. You're
Do it
100%
for
right.
everybody.
You're 100% right.
Especially for Erdogan, because this hurt me in a way. You see what's going on now.
Of course.
Do it. Stop him.
Look,
And
of
he's
course.
doing more harm, okay? He's doing more harm in many countries.
Erdogan is a totally different, issue. I mean, the man is starting wars everywhere. He's causing commotion worldwide. He clearly has an agenda that does not include, peaceful acts. It just, you can see by what he does. And I agree with you. If Twitter is censoring, President Trump, maybe
he is most dangerous than, at least at this point, he's more dangerous. Okay, but suspend the account, let's say, because he will find a way. Trust me, he will find a way again. He has the money.
But, I'll say this. The truth is also, and I think you probably will agree, that I don't think we ever had a president anywhere that used Twitter so much. I mean,
he's a TV persona, a TV star. He knows the game of the communication better than anyone else.
No, he's very skilled at that for sure, and he knows how to get people excited. And again, I'm waiting for this to finish. Go back to normal life.
It's gonna come to normal life. That is my last question. What we have to wait now? Is America different after this, and how? And what is the new normal? Okay, it was the COVID. It was all that, all the movements we've seen, the last incidents. What we are waiting?
I think that the United States needs to do some deep introspection and work on healing, and everybody needs to listen to everybody and try and discuss more. The whole mentality of, if you voted for XY, I will delete you from Facebook. If you say, if you do this, I will not be friends with you anymore.
There are people that they are targets right now. Faces that was recognized in the thing in the Capitol, and before the people that were on social media saying, now Trump supporters, it's our time. We will know where you're living. We will be after you. You think this will end? People are ready to listen, are ready to move on.
I think there will always be extreme expressions on every side. And again, I'm going to say the safe answer, that if you did something illegal, you broke the law, then you probably should have to face the consequences. So if you broke into the Capitol and you broke stuff or whatever you did, well, you have to face the consequences, one way or another. So that's what I have to say about. I don't think that we should have vendettas.
That's crazy. 2021. This is taking us back many decades.
I think you're right. I think you're right in many ways. And I have people in my family that voted for Trump. And I could fight with them every day. But what does that solve?
Yeah, what's the point?
I prefer to discuss with them, understand them. Why do you like this person? And try and see, okay, wait, can we find some common ground somewhere? Like, what is it that you want? Because at the end of the day, I think most people in the country, whether they voted for Trump or Biden or Green Party like I did, they want a better place for them and their children.
I have a comment on Facebook that I posted on my Wallace too, and it says this thing that happened. It might reveal that many people had lost the American dream and the American freedom and the democracy, that it was the basis of a middle class, that now it's not the same and doesn't exist. And the Democrats now, they are an elite of people with power, money, and all the social media people around them, that they are not very close with the people and the society, and the people from the universities as well. They're in that group, and that was from a guy from SYRIZA. It's not from someone from the center or from the right. And it's really, really interesting that he has this opinion, because for in a way, where's the middle class? I am middle class. You are middle class. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
This is a disappointment of people. I'm not saying they were right, but I'm saying many of us, the middle class, where is this middle class going?
You know, we could make a joke if we wanted and say that the American dream has become American Sidrim in some ways, you know.
Nice.
When you see that the middle class has not essentially made any increases in its income, if you take in inflation for the past, I don't know, 30 years or something like that, you can. But you know, the best thing is that, you know, this is always my best example, and you've heard this 1,000 times. Just talk to a Greek here that's here for 60 years.
60 years, yeah.
And you know, ask him, you know, ask some, you know, let's say Kostas, okay, somebody just around and say, so how did you manage? I see you have a house, apartment building,
yep.
and you have, what did you do? And you know, they'll say, I worked hard. And then I'll be like, okay, but I work hard too.
I work too, yeah.
What's the difference? I said, how many jobs did you have? One. And what did you do? I put my kids through college. I bought a house. You know, once I put them through college, I had some savings, and you know, maybe his wife worked also, and they attained some wealth. So the question is, you know, and many times, you know, the older generation will say, get a job.
Yep.
Just get a job. And you know what? They are right and wrong at the same time.
Because
in their mind, well, I got a job and I raised my family and I put my kids
It's not the same. It's not the same now.
It's not the same. It's not the same. No.
It's not the same.
We're having that conversation with my girlfriend the other day. We're talking about somebody, and you know, saying, oh yeah, you know, he has a house here and a house there, and some investments, and you know, I was explaining to her how, you know, it's a family. This family had it before. And he says, how do we do that? And I'm like, well, it's a little complicated.
It's not the same anymore. That is the American dream. I don't know, because we from Greece came for, let's say, for this. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't find it so far, and I'm not so many years here. I don't know for the others that are 20 years, but around me right now, I didn't find it.
What I can say about the America, I've been here for 8 years, is it's given me a lot of things.
That's true.
But mostly because of the struggle that, you know, I've had to evolve as a person.
And improvise in every way.
It's like you say, megalo scholio, you know.
Exactly.
And the song of Sinatra, if I can make it here or make it anywhere, it's kind of true in a way.
It's true. It's true. Yes.
But you know, you're right. You know, the country has changed, and I think across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, you know, if we had this discussion, this specific discussion, nothing else, leave the other stuff out, because you know, people always argue with me about this, because I think economics is everything.
It is. Money makes the world go round.
I think that, you know, from financial issues to racial issues to society,
Exactly.
and all, it's so much driven by money. Because listen,
Exactly.
where do you find a lot of, you know, racism, bigotry, crime? This doesn't happen.
Yep.
You know, you see a lot of stuff like this happen in certain areas, in certain
Yep.
societies.
Yep.
You know, when you have a highly educated and a
Yep.
high level, you know, financial level, you know,
Exactly.
everybody always talks about Scandinavia, for example, okay? And it's a good example. You know, they say, oh, they lived a very high quality of life. Why? Because they're all well off, more or less. They have
Exactly.
a good
Exactly.
education, good schools, and they don't have a reason.
Exactly. When money is involved, they can change everything, and depends to the person in which way, the bad or the good way. Exactly.
Yes.
That's the point. And thank you so much. Congratulations for the little
you.
amazing princess that is from late December in your life. I wish you the best, the
Thank you.
very, very best. We are waiting the online event 17th of January. We need to educate ourselves in every way, so we will become the change that we want to see in the world. That is not mine, of course, that's from Gandhi, but
Yeah.
in a way, in many ways, this is the truth.
I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about this. I had a really great time. It was like sitting at a cafe
Yes,
and
exactly.
chatting.
We will do
And,
it
and I
soon.
want to say this. I want to say this to the people that are listening and everybody and yourself. I want you to invite you not to an event that's, you know, educational event necessarily. It is, but I want to invite you to a musical journey of 150 years throughout Greece, before the establishment of the Greek country, during and up to this day. I want
That's
to invite
amazing.
you to a journey to learn and see the wealth of Greek music.
That's
That's
amazing
what we want.
how you said it. That's
You know,
amazing.
Sunday the 17th, 3 p.m. New York time, 10 p.m. Greek time, on our Facebook page. You know, just go on it. You'll see it. You know,
Amazing.
the
Congratulations.
event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear.
Χρόνια
Thank you
πολλά,
so
καλή
much.
χρονιά.
Επίσης, να είσαι καλά.
Take care. Bye.